Today, we're going back to where it all started. We're going to be taking a look at Deathbattle's take on Mario vs. Sonic. I can't believe I haven't actually made a video breaking this matchup down. However, with this video, I intend on doing something special. Instead of dividing the community by being heavily Sonic focused, I invite everyone in the comments section to DM me on Discord as much Mario and Sonic scaling as you like, as it will help me in later videos. And instead of arguing with people in the comment section about which character wins, I think we should all just come together and accept that Deathbattle massively lowballed both characters. Let's get started.
He took an explosion to the face that wrecked an entire castle. And even better, he was standing in the middle of this.
Based on a standard tennis court's measurements, we can determine the blast of this fireball covered a radius of over 2,000 feet. To reach this distance, the blast must have had an explosive yield of over 2.4 megatons. Also, he can throw a baseball so fast it overloaded this speed gun, implying it was launched over 999 miles per hour. In the Mario World cartoon, he hurled a dinosaur out of orbit. Assuming this creature is of similar size and weight to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, this feat would require a force of over 135 tons of TNT.
So the first few feats they give to Mario are pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Like, city level Mario hits pretty hard, doesn't it? But this is something I've noticed that Deathbattle does, like they do it with Sonic later on, where it's like, they'll highlight really good feats for characters, but then they'll bring up like insignificant stuff as well. I don't know if they do it to pad out the runtime of their video, or if they're just trying to make themselves look like they did a thorough job, but it just comes across as really weird. It's like you're highballing characters 1 minute, literally 1 minute, but then 30 seconds earlier you're lowballing them to city level. It just seems really weird, like why wouldn't you just not include it?
Wait, Wiz, I thought you said we're only using the games.
Any official material counts so long as it's supported by the games, otherwise we'd be ignoring a huge majority of the character's history.
You say this, yet later on in the Sonic section you include Sonic OVA, the Boom games, as well as Sonic X. None of them are canon to the games, especially back in 2018 when this video came out.
This isn't even Mario's most impressive feat. At one point, he lifted an entire fortress and punted it through the air.
He does the same thing in the manga, and it's pretty on par with the strength he's shown against Bowser.
Of the feats that you listed on screen, one of them is like large building level, and the other one is city level. Like, seriously, large building level Mario hits pretty hard, doesn't it?
By scaling these measurements to the castle's smaller avatar, and conservatively assuming a limestone composition, we've determined the castle must weigh more than 61 million tons.
And he just kicked it away like it was a freaking soccer ball.
Given the distance it was kicked, Mario must have exerted a force of around 3.5 megatons of TNT.
Once again, city level Mario. Also, funny story, apparently someone was really furious with my Mario vs Sonic video, and they claimed that I lowballed Mario. Like, mate, I didn't put him at city level. Can we all just agree on that?
Do you realize what this means? Mario's foot is 231 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that dropped on Hiroshima.
Now seems like a good time for a beer. Or 12.
Honestly, Mario's absurd strength shouldn't be as surprising as you'd think.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you keep talking about how he's within, like, the megaton ranges of power, yet within the black text box in the top right of your screen, you say that Mario scales to Donkey Kong, who punched a moon out of orbit, which was calculated to, like, 95.8 sextillion tons. It's like, why aren't you hyping up those feats? It comes across as like the moon level stuff being an afterthought and you guys glazing the city level stuff, which is really weird. Shouldn't it be the exact opposite?
While he's fairly naive and not much of a strategist, he's saved the Mushroom Kingdom from Bowser's clawed grip time and time again. And the Koopa King is tough enough to survive a dip in the sun, or even a black hole.
Don't underestimate Nintendo's powerful plumber.
See, this is once again what I'm talking about. It's like you spent basically the entire Mario segment gassing up like city level feats, and then at the end you're like, oh yeah, Bowser can survive black holes. It's like, okay, why would you not, like, talk about that? He survives, like, 2 black holes in the Galaxy games alone. Also, it seems really strange that they're willing to talk about the Super Mario Bros. Cartoon, yet they're not willing to talk about the Paper Mario series, or the Mario and Luigi series, or even the Mario RPG series. Like, yeah, sure, my Mario knowledge isn't exactly top tier, but even I know that this was a massive lowball for Mario. You put him at, like, city to planetary maybe? Like, come on, guys. But now let's move on to the Sonic side of things.
But before we delve any further, there is something vital which we need to discuss. It's time to figure out Sonic's speed.
Oh boy, here we go.
While he has boasted that he is faster than light, Sonic has yet to prove this in canon without the aid of additional equipment or power-ups.
Oh boy, to say that Sonic has never traveled faster than light speed in canon is a can of worms. In Sonic Generations, both Sonic and characters who scale to Sonic are capable of traveling in white space, which is a void outside of time and space, meaning that even base Sonic and characters who scale to him would have casual, inaccessible speed, even in the events of Sonic Generations. And if you want examples for Super Sonic, he scales to Solaris, a character who would annihilate the meaning of time itself, and he exists in the past, present, and future simultaneously, and both versions of Super Sonic flew to the end of time in order to fight the Time Eater. So to say that Sonic hasn't proven himself to be faster than light speed, when both base and Super Sonic have broken the speed equation multiple times in the series, it's pretty bad scaling on your behalf.
The highest official description of Sonic's speed labels him as hypersonic, or somewhere between Mach 5 and Mach 10.
Yeah, no.
This actually isn't too far-fetched. The game Sonic Unleashed records his speed, and he can reach a maximum around 3,500, SPD.
SPD emergency!
Assuming SPD translates to metric meters, given the game's Japanese development, that puts Sonic's top speed over 7,872 miles per hour.
So, is that it?
Well, it's possible, no, likely, that he's faster. In TV shows closely tied to the games,
I'm sorry, you're using the Sonic Boom cartoon to justify it being somewhat canon to the games. I know that the Sonic Boom series got a couple of video games, but it's not canon to the mainline series. Even to this day, the only thing tying the Boom games to the mainline series is a one-off line from Amy in Sonic Frontiers saying that Styx the Badger is canon to the mainline series. That's it.
Sonic has dodged meteors, did this with a 10,000 frame per second camera, and even outran lightning, all of which implies that he can move and react around 200 to 300 times the speed of sound.
Also, if you're insisting on using non-canon media like Sonic X, why won't you just go all out and use the best shit he has in the show? Such as Dark Super Sonic being able to blitz characters that are relative to his base form, or the fact that Super Sonic is literally confirmed to have infinite speed and strength in the Sonic X cartoon.
How about that one time he caught up to a cyan wisp? He said that thing's almost as fast as him, even without its laser mode.
That's right, the laser is a power it grants Sonic, not itself. Still, wisps are incredibly fast. At one point, a group of them flew from Earth's surface to a black hole in orbit in the 20 seconds Sonic and Tails were talking. By measuring the planet's curve here, we can find that the wisp aliens must have been moving around Mach 200.
See, again, the problem I have with this is because you included Super Sonic, all of this is kinda pointless. Like, unless you're gonna try argue that the Cyan Laser Wisp is faster than Super Sonic, I don't know why you'd bring this up to begin with.
As Sonic is faster than them, this supports his cartoon feats.
Why isn't that black hole sucking up the Earth? That's what they do, right?
It's more like a pseudo-black hole fueled by hyper-go-on energy.
Yeah! I didn't know better. I'd swear you just made those words up.
Its presence near Sonic does emulate that of a singularity, and Sonic actually outran its pull for 30 seconds. Due to chaotic accretion, black holes pull non-orbiting mass inward at 30% the speed of light. Sonic's clearly pushing his running speed to its limit here, or else the black hole wouldn't have pulled him in. With this in mind, it's entirely possible that, without additional support, Sonic's maximum possible running speed must be around 200 million miles per hour.
I know a lot of people like to use the black hole feat in Sonic Colors to try lowball Sonic, but the funny thing is, it actually upscales him. Chaos Emeralds by themselves contain universes of chaos and are also conduits for unlimited or infinite power. And there's an unused line of dialogue from Eggman in Sonic Colors that Hyper-Go-On energy is more powerful than Chaos Emerald energy. And even though this voice line was unused, there actually is some validity to it, since in the DS version of Sonic Colors, the Mother Naga Wisp, I think that's how you pronounce it, was comprised of Hyper-Go-On energy and it required Super Sonic to stop her. Basically meaning that the black hole at the end of Sonic Colors was more powerful than a normal black hole, and not only did Sonic survive it, but he also briefly outrun it after a long drawn out fight with one of Eggman's strongest machines at the time.
Even with this unbelievable speed, Sonic has far more power hidden up his sleeves.
He doesn't wear a shirt.
He can achieve the form of Super Sonic by absorbing an enormous amount of positive energy from the 7 legendary Chaos Emeralds. In this mode, he can teleport large objects, survive planet-level explosions, launch energy attacks, and fly near the speed of light.
Smash Brothers isn't canon to Sonic the Hedgehog, so the fact you're using a description on a Smash trophy is pretty dishonest.
Comparing it to the buildings in this city and applying the density of granite, the most common rock in continental crust, we found that this stalactite must weigh almost 47 million tons. Which means a break like this would need a force of almost 200 kilotons of TNT. But at his best, he's the definition of honest and heroic. He's used his powers to defeat Eggman time and time again, even against gigantic death machines and cataclysmic events.
Those cute and cuddly forest critters can rest easy when Sonic's gotta go fast.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. Why would you talk about like all of this insane shit that Sonic has done and then right at the end use a large town level feat from Sonic OVA of all things? Anyways, the Sonic and Mario segments are over, and now we can get to the conclusion where everything just shits the bed.
I know Nintendo won the console wars, but I really seem to remember Sonic having this one in the bag.
I'm sure Sonic could have won in specific circumstances, but more times than not, Mario takes the victory. Keep in mind this analysis was done with a focus on the games and their closely tied media, excluding alternate contrary sources like the Archie comics or the Mario Brothers movie, where Mario and Sonic are essentially entirely different characters from their gaming counterparts.
Sonic had speed in the bag, obviously.
I don't disagree with the notion that Sonic is faster, but I do really hate the reasoning you give, because you basically lowball Mario and Sonic to hypersonic at most. I've already gone over the inaccessible to immeasurable speed scaling for base and supersonic earlier, but Mario also scales to QLEX, who is described as a master of time and space. Fairly certain that would grant him inaccessible to immeasurable speed also.
But Mario was way too tough for him.
Their top strength feats paint this picture very, very clearly.
Okay, so Mario is city level and Sonic is large town level. Jesus fucking Christ. I never want to hear anyone, anywhere, anyhow, anyplace, anytime say that I ever lowball Mario, when these guys are unironically saying that Mario's best feat is city level. Real world humans with the Tsar Bomber, Solo, Mario, and Sonic, I guess. Also, I guess these guys just forgot about this part of the video.
But I know what you're thinking. What good is Mario's strength if he couldn't even hit the blue blur? He's way too fast, right?
This just in, Mario caps at hypersonic, I guess.
Yes and no. While Mario obviously couldn't match Sonic's relativistic top-running speeds, he's moved efficiently as a bolt of electricity and piloted the Star Diver. Based on our calculations, this puts him at the same level as Sonic's own reactionary feats. Since Mario was tough enough to tank almost anything Sonic could throw at him, it was only a matter of time before he tagged the blue blur with a deadly blow.
But what about chaos control? Couldn't Sonic just stop time and take care of things while...
It's heavily implied he knows how to, but Sonic has never actually used the time stop ability in canon. Even then, Mario's stopwatch does the same thing, putting them on equal footing.
I mean, yeah, Sonic doesn't spam time stop like Shadow does, but he should still be able to do it. He used Chaos Control with a fake Emerald, and Super Sonic has demonstrated Chaos Control before. Fairly certain Sonic could do it, even if it's not within his character to do it.
Actually, most of Mario and Sonic's power-ups countered each other in this way. Mario even had plenty of options for defending against Sonic's invincible super forms. But Mario also had a much wider variety of power-ups, offering multiple ways to overpower Sonic. For example, he could have frozen Sonic solid, or even turned him into gold. His arsenal would always outlast Sonic's because he's been shown to carry more of them on his person.
See, this is something I've never really understood, and Mario fans in the comment section, feel free to elaborate in the comment section, but how much more powerful do Mario's power-ups actually make him? Like, is it quantifiable? Are there any statements? Like, it seems like there's two types of fools. There's the fools that say, oh, Mario can just survive anything with a power star, but then there's other people like Deathbattle, where they seem to be implying that the frickin' B power-up can somehow counter, like, Supersonic or the Wisps.
But even then, Mario's durability blew Sonic's out of the water. Even if we assume the 200 kiloton stalactite feat was entirely Sonic's doing, Mario survived an explosion that was 12 times more powerful.
Again, these guys are just glazing the idea that Mario is city level. Like, are we actually kidding me? How the hell do we live in a timeline where characters who are casually multiversal are somehow town and city level? Also, I want to focus on what they say in the top right corner. Defeating Solaris and the Time Eater does not automatically put Sonic on overall universal levels, particularly since those enemies' universally threatening capabilities stem from powers Sonic does not possess. That is the biggest load of mental gymnastics I've heard in a while. So, first of all, defeating a universal entity doesn't make you universal. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. A town-level character is defeating a universal entity. Yeah, sure, go ahead. But also, why would possessing powers that Sonic doesn't have matter? Like, he still ended up defeating them. It would be like if Superman beat Scarlet Witch in a fight, and you tried saying, well, hold on, Superman isn't as powerful as Scarlet Witch because she has more abilities than him. Like, yeah, sure, he still won. Like, why would that matter? I think a fair thing to bring up would be, oh, he doesn't scale to Solaris because he had help, or something like that. But no, instead you say, yeah, Sonic beat a universal character, but he's not universal because Solaris has powers, question mark?
Simply put, Sonic didn't have a lot of viable options that could take Mario down for good.
I always knew Sonic was impressive, but Mario is just ridiculous. Probably that mustache.
Sonic was obviously incredibly fast, but he couldn't compete with Mario's superior strength, durability, and varied arsenal. The winner is Mario.
I actually feel sorry for the Mario fans, because sure, Mario won, okay, cool, but at what cost? Like, is it really a victory at all when they say he's city level? Like, Deathbattle themselves reference the Galaxy games, where Mario contends with Grand Star amped characters, with Grand Stars powering Bowser's reactor, which would have affected an entire galaxy, potentially the universe as well. The way they handled Mario scaling is pretty disrespectful. They're like, damn guys, he can survive nukes. Oh, and I guess he can survive a black hole as well, that's pretty crazy. But damn, he can survive nukes! Like, what are we doing here? And as for the Sonic side of things, they just didn't even try. Like, they didn't talk about Solaris or the Time Eater at all. They were just reserved for the black text boxes. These two characters that are verbatimly stated to be a threat to all of time and space, and that the super forms beat. Oh no, the super forms don't actually scale to them because XYZ. But did you know that Sonic is town level? Like, what are we doing here? Again, the whole point of this video isn't to say, you know, Mario's trash and Sonic is overpowered. Like, no, I like both characters. I think they're both great in their own way, and they're both ridiculously overpowered. The point of this video, however, is to bring everyone together on Mario and Sonic's side of the fence, and acknowledge that Deathbattle did a horrendous job with this video. Seriously, town-level Sonic and city-level Mario is gonna haunt my dreams tonight. Anyways, guys, this is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and consider what I said at the start of the video. If you have any Mario and Sonic scaling you want to DM me on Discord, go right on ahead. Thanks guys, and goodbye.